Hello once again. I wanted to share a little video here of me trying to repair my rear view mirror on my 2011 Audi S5. We actually recently had the glass replaced because of a crack, and the dealership put in a brand new Audi OEM windshield. And once we got home, we were trying to adjust the mirror and it kept popping off. I'm just trying to put a little bit of pressure on it to adjust it, and well, if it does this or completely comes off, we were trying to figure out why it wasn't staying on. So I'm going to show you exactly how you are actually supposed to remove this and why this is popping off, and how you can put your mirror back on. So first, let's take off the mirror. We have a little clip here. You have to remove this top piece, so I'm going to do that with both of my hands. Alright, so that comes off. I'm going to lay that down here. Now there was another little trim piece that also popped off, and I'll show you how that was attached. Whenever you take this piece off, which just basically covers the cabling that you see up here, it's basically going to hide your cables. You will want to pull it down from here, and you'll kind of remove it in this direction. Now this does have two little prongs. As you can see, the one is a little broken already, but it's still attached, so be careful when removing that. I think the cover itself costs about $30, and it attaches like so, and then when you remove it, you want to kind of bring it over like that. Also, it'd be wise to remove this piece as well, and you don't really have to remove it while taking it off, but it would be wise to take it off when you are reinstalling it. So there are two clips, I think, on both sides, here and there, and you just want to pry it apart a little bit and then push it in this direction. Alright, so pulled apart on the location I said, and now it's basically just falls down. It is held in place by, there's a little something in there, some electronics. But on the plastic piece, just make a note of these two prongs. This prong and this one, it has to slide into this in front of this groove right here. Now this piece has a kind of a, I don't know what these are called, spider clamp, spider grip, but these three prongs actually hold onto not this metal plate, but it holds onto the right behind it. Let me see if I can find my flashlight. There we go. Alright, so right above this metal plate, there's a little slot right here above it. That's where it actually slots into. And there's one on the right, this side, other side, and then one on the back side. Let me see if I can find it. There's one on the back side somewhere. Alright. This plate here is basically, there's a clip on this side and a clip on the other side holding the rain sensor. The rain sensor is right here in the middle, and then you have another little plastic thing which you can actually slide up a little bit so that we don't really break that while twisting the mirror. So I'm just going to lift this up a little bit. And of course, here's the plug-in to the rain sensor. And this is basically a ring that this other piece, so these three kind of metal pads slide along that metal ring. And for some reason, when I was trying to attach the mirror or reattach the mirror, it kept popping off, and I was wondering, well, why is it not staying attached? It kept, basically those three prongs kept slipping off these locations where it's supposed to slide into. It just kept slipping over it. Well, it turns out this metal bracket that's holding the sensor in was installed incorrectly whenever they install the windshield. And the way you can tell is if you take a look, there's these indentations, 3 indentations on the actual sensor. And the ring has 3 metal pieces, and those metal pieces are supposed to be setting inside of those indentations on the rain sensor. So they basically installed the metal ring here upside down. Yeah, so I have to remove it and then spin it around so that these metal brackets are sitting within those indentations. What was happening is those metal pieces are now sitting on top of the rain sensor, back pushing the plate outwards, which is then pushing outwards on where the prong is supposed to attach to, and that's just enough for it not to hold on to the bracket good enough. So I'm going to remove that bracket and spin it around, and then I'm going to show you how to reattach the mirror, because the mirror is going to reattach kind of at an angle. You have to turn it a little bit at, I think, about 11 o'clock, and then once it's in those grooves, then you slide it over to 12 o'clock, and that's how it's going to engage into the bracket. So now I'm going to get the help of Jessica, and we're going to take this off. Alright, so I've got one side loose, but before I take it off, I just wanted to give you a closer view of how that's attached. So it looks like the bracket kind of curls around over and then grips the plastic there at the top. And the way I removed it is I just have these little screwdrivers, and I basically came from underneath the bracket and pried outward to get that off. So now that this is off, let's try to get the other side here loose. I think I should just be able to get it off. And now I'm just going to spin it around and reattach. So now that side's in, and we just push up here. Make sure that before I do get it on completely, there's these holes on the bracket, and it has little black nipples on the sensor. So you'll make sure that those are showing before you clip it into place. Also, because this was incorrectly installed, some of these brackets may be bent outward a little bit, so I'm going to actually bend those back before I put that in. I'm going to reattach this bracket first, and make sure this is engaged, and then we're going to push this other bracket up. And there we go. We heard the click. And just make sure that we see those 3 black nipples, that these metal pieces are sitting inside the recessed area, and they are. And let's now try to reattach the mirror. What you'll want to do is bring your mirror, point it all the way down so that you have a lot of room to play with here. Now we have a back bracket, and then we have the 2 front ones. This bracket is actually a little bit longer than these 2. And so we're going to attach this one first. Now should be a place here to attach it in the back. I'm going to try to get it in that area first. All right. So you kind of put it in at 11 o'clock, and then you turn it to the right. So up and then a little bit to the right, and it should engage. Now I'm going to try to maneuver my back rear view mirror just a little bit. Let's make sure that it doesn't pop off. So now I'm going to reattach my cable at the top. Alright, now this piece, as I said, these 2 prongs of the plastic, I'm going to make sure they are in front of that plastic piece, like that, and I'm just going to hear a click. Alright, grab my other piece now, which is going to cover the wires. I'm going to bring it over, make sure the wires are underneath, and then push forward to make that engage. This side clicked, and that side should be now clicked. And hopefully this won't pop off now. That concludes the reattaching of the mirror. If you're still having it pop off after making sure the bracket is on correct, then I would suggest taking some pliers and gently bending those 3 prongs inwards just a little bit so that it has a little bit more grip. Now the ones that I have here, this is what I used. I actually bent those inwards just before I started the video, but you can use something like these to bend those brackets. Yeah, that's how you detach, fix the, make sure the bracket is on correct, and then reattach an Audi mirror. If you ever do break your mirror, it is very costly, so depending on what type of mirror you have, this one I think has the compass and the dimming, the auto dimming. There are some other types of mirrors, but they can cost upwards of, I think, $1,000, so be careful that you don't break these. That's it for today. Please like the video, please subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to stay tuned of future content. Until next time, guys, see you later.